Guns are a tool, but they're only as safe as the person using them. This series is designed to make you a safe and capable shooter. You're going to learn all about firearm types. You're going to learn how to be effective at the range. You're going to learn how to find your own place to shoot, but mostly, you're going to have fun. So come along. It's going to be a blast. You're going to hear shooters talk about very specific parts of a gun. And with very few exceptions, guns share many of the same parts and pieces. So let's get to know what they are. With a few exceptions, all guns have these in common. Let's start with the stock. This is the part of the gun that you actually hold on to. This rear part is called the buttstock, and it fits in your shoulder. The front part is called the fore end, or the forestock. This, as you probably know, is called the barrel. This is what projects the rifle bullet or the shot shell string. The moving parts of a gun is called the action. In this case, this is a bolt action. The action also includes the trigger and the safety. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but this is actually the moving part that engages a cartridge and gets it ready to be fired. Lastly, I want to talk about sights. This is what makes your gun hit where you're aiming. In this case, this is a rifle scope or a telescopic rifle sight. On a shotgun, you can see there's nothing here except a bead at the end. This is actually the sight of a shotgun. You put this on your moving target. So now that you know the parts of a gun, let's talk about how they work. When you cycle a cartridge, that means you put a cartridge into the chamber and close the action. It's ready to be fired. When you pull the trigger, it releases a firing pin that strikes the primer of the cartridge, creating a controlled explosion inside this chamber. When that happens, the only place that the projectile can go is out the barrel. Now that you've learned the parts of a gun, let's talk about the anatomy of a cartridge. In this case, this is a rifle cartridge and a shotgun shell. They look different, but they have the same components. Let's look at the rifle cartridge first. This is the bullet in front. This is the piece that actually goes out the barrel. This is the metallic cartridge case, and inside that is gunpowder. At the very end is the primer. This is actually what causes the combustion inside the gun. The firing pin hits the primer, causes a controlled explosion inside the cartridge case that ignites the gunpowder, and it pushes the bullet out the barrel. A shotgun shell has the very same components as a rifle cartridge, though it looks a little different. Inside this plastic hull, there are pellets in the very front. Behind them is gunpowder, and at the end is the primer. Just with the rifle, when the firing pin hits the primer, the gunpowder ignites, it pushes the pellets out the barrel, and it creates the shot string that engages your target downrange. Rifles come in a wide variety of calibers. Let me show you what I mean. This is a .22. This is a 6.5 Creedmoor, and this is a .270. They clearly are different sizes. That's because they're engineered to do different things. The .22 is a great target load, but it's also great for small game. The 6.5 Creedmoor is also good for long distance target shooting, but you might use this for hunting deer-sized animals. The .270, on the other hand, can be also good for target shooting, but this can handle game all the way up to elk and even moose-sized animals. Just as the different sizes of rifles are described in calibers, the different sizes of shotguns are described in gauges. The biggest one you're likely to see is a 12 gauge. You're often likely to see a 20 gauge. You can see they're different sizes and they are not interchangeable. When you go to buy ammunition, keep two things in mind. First, make sure that the caliber that's stamped on the box matches your rifle. And the second, make sure that the bullet itself is suitable for whatever game you're hunting or target you're shooting. Remember, firearms are only as safe as the person using them. So whether you become a hunter, a competitive shooter, or you just go to the target range every now and then with your family, shooting is a blast.